Oh my God. Stop sending me emails. Oh my God.
We just booked an Airbnb before this, and she's getting now 1,000 emails. So if you're wondering what the start of that was.
Yeah. They sent me, so when they send a message, it also sends an email, and I just got a text confirmation. So not only am I getting messages on the app, I'm getting emails on the messages, and then a message saying it was confirmed. Okay, sweet. It was confirmed. Check-in will be 2 hours prior. So, when we leave.
Yeah.
Sweet. We're going to a music festival, that's why. We need an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Airbnbs are expensive now, but so are hotels. Everything hurts. We need friends in Kansas City. Anyone wants to help? Well, we already booked it. Never mind. And we only get partial.
We'll just tell them, sorry, we can't book now for the incident.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, we tried booking because spring break of 2020, we wanted to go to Colorado. But that's when COVID was starting to get hit and travel to the U.S. really hard. So we canceled it. And I have messages from the previous cancellation. And I said, sorry we had to cancel. We aren't going down because of the incident in Lakewood. And I don't know what the incident was. We can't figure out, nothing is on the internet. So I don't know if it was something happened in the media, if COVID was really hitting it hard.
The incident.
I feel like I would say because of COVID, we're not going down.
It's like the incident.
So something must have happened in Colorado.
In 2020. I don't remember what it was.
Unless Colorado is getting hit by COVID, but I wouldn't say the incident. I would say
the incident
COVID
is occurring.
I literally can't remember what it was. I didn't even know that I used the app to book it.
Oh.
But apparently I did. I don't really like the app, but I like it a lot better than the computer.
Okay. There's more options on the app.
Klarna, yeah. I didn't see that on the website, but I saw that on here. But I don't want to do Klarna because that's a year and interest may be applied to it, and I don't want to pay interest.
Yeah.
If I can say shit.
Welcome back.
This is episode, I don't know because I don't have my notebook.
8. Welcome back to our Airbnb.
Is it episode 8? I thought it was episode 9.
Maybe it's 9.
Maybe it's 8.
I don't remember.
Hold on, let me fact check. We really should have been prepared. I forgot. Luckily we can easily look it up. Episode 8.
Aha, I know what I'm doing.
And we did not watch a movie because it was a holiday.
Yes.
And you were busy, and I was passed out in my bed.
Yeah.
The entire holiday. Except the 2 days, the weekends before.
Yeah.
But the Monday, passed out.
Yes.
In bed all day.
This time we're just going to have a little chat
about a topic, obviously.
About a topic, yeah. Kind of like how we've done 2 times prior. Well, one time prior, and the introduction was kind of just more like an introduction. With
we did a prior with
Why Do Women Love Horror?
Why Do Women Love Horror? So now we're doing LGBTQ plus in movies and media.
So that way, when the episode releases, it will be
June 2nd.
At the beginning.
June 3rd.
Pride. So
yeah, June 3rd.
It'll be perfect timing.
Mm-hmm. Perfect introduction.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the movies that I like kind of have a little bit of I'm talking quiet again. Have some kind of connection to LGBTQ, so I think this will be a good segue, because when we talk about Jennifer's Body, I'm going to be talking about the LGBTQ-ness of that movie.
I think you could say queerness.
Queerness, yeah.
We can say queerness because we're part of the community.
Yeah. So, I think we talked a little bit already too when it came to our movie bracket, when we talked a little bit about Love, Simon.
Mm-hmm.
We also talked a little bit about it during Why Do Women Love Horror Film, because women and the queer community tend to adopt the same cult classics and movies that they enjoy.
Look at how small your line is.
I'm just going to talk right into it.
It's still not picking up. What is up with your voice?
I guess I don't project.
Let me try doing that.
Hello.
Let me try positioning it because it's right now it's on the mode that you talk directly into it.
Oh.
So maybe I need to be on the side more and this needs to be in front of you more. She has a very quiet voice.
Yeah.
I have a very loud. I'm Tessa. By the way,
Yeah, well, you're cool. We never introduce
ourselves. But I have a louder voice. She has a quieter voice. So I think doing something like this might be a little bit better. So then it's directly in your face because it picks up on the quiet of your voice, while on the side it maybe tones down my loudness.
Yeah, I think it's looking at it right now.
Try sitting back normal.
Projecting more. So, nope. I gotta be closer.
Well, I can move it closer to you. Okay, how about that? Just talk normally.
Okay.
You're always just gonna be quiet.
I know. It's just like, I don't know if my voice is just low, like pitched, and I have a softer sounding voice, and it's just not picking up. But anyways, technical difficulties because remember these are unedited, so we're just gonna go.
We're watching the waves on the computer, so
we'll just go with what happens,
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So, yeah, I think we're gonna talk more broadly, but bringing in examples off the top of our heads, kind of loose discussion instead of super rigid and like, we're talking about this, and then this, and then this. Kind of more just discussion based. So, well, what I thought of this topic is I actually took a LGBTQ theory class in film. So I watched a lot of gay movies or like coded gay movies. There's a lot of
I don't know what that means.
So a coded gay movie is a movie that it doesn't explicitly say that characters are gay at all, but there are coded objects or there's coded words. So like a coded object would be a man having a cane or something phallic resembling. This is usually during older times, like the 50s, when you could.
So anyone with a cane meant they're gay?
Not everyone.
Oh, okay. I'm like, poor old man.
No, it's more like
labeled gay.
You kind of get a vibe, but it's never explicitly said, and so they like code them with an object. So if you know that code, then you can see it and recognize it. But to the general public, they won't recognize it. So then that way they could get away with gay characters not like being known about, because then the public would therefore not want to watch the movie, and also the like censorship boards of movies would also not
censor it.
Yeah. So that is we watched a lot of those movies in my class, and then we watched a lot of movies from different countries. Like I remember I watched one from France, which was about I would have to look up the name of this movie. But it was about this young girl, and you see her like as a tween, kind of 12 years old, trying to figure out like her gender identity, and she sees herself more as a boy and is interested in what being a boy is like, and actually pretends to be a boy with these new like summer friends. So a lot of the gay movies I've watched have actually been not from the United States.
You probably have watched more than I have, though.
Yeah.
As a fellow bisexual lady, I don't think I've ever seen an American LGBTQ movie.
You've seen Brokeback Mountain.
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess I have seen Brokeback and Jennifer's Body, kind of. It's not an LGBTQ movie. I wouldn't say it's an LGBTQ
It's got,
movie. I think it's more of a emphasis on like women's sexuality.
Yeah, it's like
whether it's LGBTQ or not.
It's got like a gay subtext going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like Brokeback Mountain, where it's strictly about the relationship, or Love, Simon, even though I've never seen it. Mm-hmm. Like the Brokeback Mountain is the only one that I've ever seen, and that was because I was bored at work. It was on the free movie site, and I went, I'll watch that.
I was like thinking work
in college
recently, and I was like, you watched that?
No, in college. It doesn't show that much.
I know. It's just...
And you just put in headphones, and nobody can see it and dim it a little bit. I've seen a lot worse at work. Not like 50 Shades of Grey or shit like that, but like I listen to true crime stuff at work, and they'll show...
Gay porn. No.
They'll watch... They'll put up like crime scene photos and... crime scene bodies, which, you know, is not really appropriate at work, so you just dim it a little bit, put in your headphones, and you're fine. So then when somebody walks by, they're not seeing something. And then you pause it, and you make sure you pause it on not a questionable thing. It's not sexual in nature, but I've seen, like, you remember that Woodstock documentary?
Yeah.
That has nudity in it. I watched that at the State Patrol. I just skipped those parts. So then people don't walk up and just see naked bits. But I just skip those parts because I know what they're saying. I first watch those at home. Then I know what parts I can skip when I'm re-listening. But, yeah, I think I've only seen Brokeback Mountain. Okay, here, I'll do a more specific. I've never seen, besides Brokeback Mountain, an LGBTQ movie in general. Mm-hmm. I've only seen Brokeback Mountain. Everything else is... Asian BL. Mm-hmm. That's TV shows. Like, it's not movies. I mean, they have movie formats, but one of my favorite ones, they put it into a movie format. It's 4.5 hours. So long. So they do smash them up, and I think it's only Korean BLs they smash up because they're typically shorter, much shorter. So another one's like 2 hours long, so it's like a movie length. So they have the TV version, and then they also cut shit from the movie, and I'm like, and I've watched the TV show version. I'm like, you just cut out a whole fucking scene. But I don't think I've ever seen, like, besides Brokeback Mountain, I've never seen a movie, LGBTQ movie. I like the TV shows better, but we'll get into why.
Yeah, she likes the BLs.
Korean. I've watched Korean, Taiwanese, Japanese, Thai. Thai's a big one. Thai and Taiwanese, those two big ones. Now Korea's starting to open up a little bit more. Their K-dramas are starting to get a little bit longer. I just watched one that was 30-minute episodes, which is really shocking because the first ones I've ever started watching, Korean, were 15 minutes long, each episode. But I feel like I've seen another. Chinese basically has none. I think they have like 2 on Viki. I watch them all on Viki. I don't really go straight from Viki, but I could because there's a lot of Thai ones that I'm really interested in that are not on Viki. But my biggest ones are Thai, Taiwanese, and Korean. Those are my favorites. Thai is a little questionable there, but we'll get into why. But yeah, those are like the 3 countries that I really watch LGBTQ stuff. Mm-hmm. But American, no, except Brokeback Mountain. I can't. Maybe I've seen ones that have underlining, but they're not like LGBTQ focused. Yeah. Like what I would think is a movie that I would want to watch is the one where the Drax is in it. The actor of Drax.
Batista?
Yeah. Uh-huh. You saw it in the movie theater with the 2 gay guys and the kid.
Yes. Knock at the Cabin.
Yes. That one I would watch. Not saying because it doesn't have a big LGBTQ, but stuff like that I watch and that has underlinings, that isn't a big, huge factor.
That's on our list.
Yeah. Now it's on our list.
It should be on our list. I thought I mentioned it.
You might have. Let me see if I updated the list.
That one is a very
no, I have not.
Good.
at the cabin.
Yeah, it's a very good, I believe, exploration of like the one versus the many, and
I say kill everyone. I'm gonna also turn the one that we're talking about now red. Where are you? I know you're here. There you are.
yeah, I think I've seen a lot more
Foreign.
but there's an interesting thing in regards to like the American LGBTQ movies I've seen, because my film classes always like to start with like starting from the oldest movies first, so like 50s, and then like making our way back into like modern. And a lot of the 50s LGBTQ representations are actually them as villains, or like
have you ever met me? I'm a fucking bisexual, chaotic neutral.
Yeah. Chaotic neutral.
I'm chaotic neutral. Never played D&D, so don't ask me about it. I just know that I'm chaotically neutral.
Hey, I want to play D&D.
You want to play with my dad and my brothers?
Yeah. I do, actually.
Okay.
I want to learn.
No, that's fine, because they've been wanting me to play. So you can go up
Yes.
with me to, I always forget which place. Michigan. No, Minnesota. Where is Mall of America?
Minnesota.
It's Minnesota. They're moving to Minnesota. They're like an hour away from Mall of America. So
I'll go join.
Yeah, you can come. We can learn how to play. It'll be fun. Again, we should watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
We should.
It's such a good movie.
Whenever it comes out on streaming or renting, because they'll say like it's renting, but then it'll be like that $20 rent. I'm like, that's not renting.
That is buying.
That is buying a movie.
When it comes out on streaming, we'll watch it together, because it's a good movie. And I didn't think I would like it, and I really liked it. But also, Chris Pine is in it, and he's hot.
Yeah, you can't
And
go
also, the girl from
wrong.
the girl from It is in it, and I really like her character. But
yeah, so
good.
anyways, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, chaotically neutral bisexual queen.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So yeah, they did a lot of like villain, but that was my favorite thing to talk about, was kind of flip it on its head and talk about like the hidden things that were going on. Like, one of my favorite film papers I ever wrote was for a movie called, I believe it's called The Children's Hour, from like the 1950s. It's got Audrey Hepburn in it. Yeah.
I love Audrey Hepburn.
It's,
Have you seen My Fair Lady?
I have not. No.
Boring as fuck. Good movie. It's boring up until the like interlude, or that intermission part, the halfway point.
I must double check.
Oh, actually, I would say the middle parts are interesting. The beginning, no. The ending, nah.
I was right.
The middle part's good.
The Children's Hour, 1960, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like right when you know.
No, I don't know what you're saying right now.
It's still like black and white, but kind of they're venturing away from black and white movies at this time. But this one's still in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And
right when Technicolor started happening.
In this, which I want to talk about the Children's Hour sometime, because my film paper slaps.
You can watch that. That'd be
It goes
fun.
hard.
Oh, I want to watch that just because Audrey Hepburn is in it, and I love Audrey Hepburn.
Well, it's very interesting, because I don't want to talk a whole lot about it, because I want to go more in depth. But that movie, basically, this isn't really a spoiler, because it happens right at the beginning, so you would see this, and it's the premise of the movie, is there are two school teachers, and then one of their school children makes up a lie saying they're lesbians, and so they get like ostracized for being seen as lesbians. So there's a lot of that like villainy going on, but I love to.
But they're not actually lesbians?
They, from what I remember, they do like end up having like,
Or questioning.
they're like, yeah, I think I can't remember exactly because I haven't seen this movie in like 3 years. But they are like, I remember them sharing a kiss, I think. It's a very tragic story.
Curious.
And the way that the movie tries to set it up is that they, deserve this because of them being quote-unquote lesbians. But then when I really delved into the movie, it seems like, for me, my arguing point was the movie seemed to be more, reflective on society, because the way that they shoot the kid who makes up this entire thing, sort of, she's always shot as, a horror villain, so it's she's actually the horror. Mm-hmm. So, the movie, they were kind of doing this thing. I don't know the actuality of the history of the movie and what the filmmakers were doing, but it seems like there's a duality there of trying to tell, a straightforward story of it being, lesbians are the villains, but in the background it's actually not saying that, but for the public audience, that's what it was supposed to be saying for wider release, and not to be hey,
from our standpoint, being in the community, we can see that the villain is actually the society.
Yeah.
But to make it be released, they film it in a clever way.
Yeah.
Where only the community members really understand the premise. Yes. So it's kind of almost like the coding a little bit.
Yeah.
But coding not by an object, but the actual film process.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a big thing back to the censors, is the censors are the ones who kind of impact how a movie can be seen, which that happens actually a lot still in horror, where they tell them to cut things for a certain rating. And
understandable.
But sometimes it's stuff that's not even that crazy, but the censor goes, you can't have that, so therefore you can't release it like that. There's some stuff with
I know really gruesome stuff. They're we don't want this to be because there's rated R and then there's one on top of rated R.
This is just one of the movies I can think of that this has happened is one of the older Friday the 13th movies, and the actual versions, the uncut version is not really that different, but it was censored so much that blood was no longer even a part of the movie.
Well, I bet that the original Friday the 13th, what came out in the 80s? 90s? 80s? 80s sounds right.
80s. This is one that I think was happening 2000s, early 2000s. Mid 1990s.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it's censors.
Now they don't give a fuck about blood.
No, they don't.
They go, oh, rated R, perfect.
It's definitely a different one.
Please don't make it more rated R, whatever that top one is.
Well, there are some, I saw, what's it called? Infinity Pool. Infinity Pool has a NC, 17 rating.
Is that above rated R?
Yeah. Because that means, no one...
Under the age of 17.
Yeah.
No matter if with parents.
Yeah.
Well, rated R, it's 17 with parents.
Which NC-17 ratings actually seem to happen more now, at least from what I've seen. Why they get NC-17 is not gore, it's more nudity now. Infinity Pool got an NC-17 because you see, penis and...
Wow, that's funny, because back then they didn't care.
Yeah.
They're oh, it's flipped.
Yeah.
Where blood is now completely okay.
Yeah.
But the moment you show a titty or a dick, nah. Back then you could show a full titty and it was okay.
Yeah, so
look at the first Carrie. First Carrie is just a room full of naked ladies in a shower. Locker room, that's what I want to say.
So it's very
when I saw that, I went, because I didn't expect it.
Yeah, it's something you're not used to. Except some movies are able to get away with it, Midsommar.
Her hair covered it.
Well, the boyfriend, he walks out of the barn full.
Oh, maybe it's time. Yeah. It can't be, and it was far away.
Yeah.
So you can't really completely see it. Yeah. And then he covers it when he runs away.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So maybe it's you could show a penis for 5 seconds, gotta cover it.
Yeah.
And then ladies, those are always covered. Yeah. Whether it's most of the time. I think it's a time thing. Because I've seen boobies in rated R movies, newer ones, but they're covered in a certain amount of minutes or seconds, or definitely never seen vagina, in a rated R movie. I don't think I've ever seen. I've seen penis. I've seen boobs. Vagina is a sacred place that we don't show.
Yeah, I can't think of one either.
Which, here's the thing. If you're going to show a dick, might as well show a vagina. I mean, like, if I'm seeing a man's penis uninvited, I might as well see a vagina, which I will always invite.
Yeah, so.
But I'm thinking maybe because vaginas are a lot easier to hide in scenes.
I'm not sure.
Because you can just put somebody in front of, I guess, a penis, though. I'm so confused. I've seen also...
I need to look into these, what the censorship rules are, but I think it's technically, like, a board, so a board watches it, so technically it can be different depending on the movie, like, what they decide. I don't know, because, like, for Megan being PG-13 versus rated R, like, I think the stipulations for what made that a PG-13, are different than, like, another horror movie that would be PG-13 but shows a little bit more. I don't know how they decide, actually. I need to talk to a board member.
With Megan, I can see... I haven't seen the movie, but from the trailers and from what you've told me, from Megan, I'm honestly thinking that was not aimed towards children, but they wanted children, like, teens to watch it.
It actually completely changed, because originally it was going to be rated R, but then the Megan dancing TikTok came out, and then
kids were watching
TikToks, like, kids were seeing it, they went through and they re-edited the movie and cut out things.
They didn't release the rated R version.
They have the unrated version, and yeah, it's like...
It's better.
How it's supposed to...
Originally
be. I've seen it. It's not that much different. Like, I thought it was going to be way, like...
Is there
extra.
Less blood?
Yeah, there's, like, slightly less blood, but from watching the PG-13 version and how the, like, death scenes, like, they're very, you don't really see a whole lot. The rated R or unrated is just slightly, like, one blood spurt more, but it's nothing really that...
Do you actually see the kill in the unrated?
Yeah.
So that's different.
Oh.
So I'm guessing because they're having 13-year-olds, they can't show violence to that extent. Because what I'm also thinking about is, like, horror movies that are aimed towards children, like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. They don't show super violent death scenes. Like, they show, like, the before death. I think the only one is the guy who got turned into a scarecrow. That was morbid. But everyone else was kind of a little bit more subtle.
Yeah. That's what they did. But.
So that's why I'm thinking they probably cut them, and that's how they got PG-13 because they didn't show it.
The unrated version. It's unrated. Where was the blood? Just saying. I wanted to see gore in the unrated version. It's not that much different than
Maybe
PG-13.
they didn't want gore because they wanted it to be... What I'm thinking is, like, we're totally divulging.
Yeah,
but,
this is what normally happens.
For what I'm thinking is maybe they didn't want it to be like Chucky. Where Chucky, it was gory, it was offensive. Well, this one, they wanted to kind of break away from the Chucky. So they weren't...
break away from the Chucky.
Well, because they're basically the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a doll that's alive.
An AI, though.
Yeah, but it's a doll that's alive. One's a demon, one's AI, but it could be a demon taking over the AI or something like that. But, like, they're possessed dolls, basically, in the same essence. So probably that's why, and both of them are relatively, I'm saying this in quotation marks for Megan, funny. So they didn't want to be too close to Chucky, so maybe the director wanted it to be in a more artistic way, where it wasn't gory, it wasn't stuff like that, because if it was like that, people were going to compare it to Chucky. Yeah. And Chucky's a classic, so they were going to be bombarded either way. I've heard mixed reviews. I want to watch it. I really want to watch it.
It's wild. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it is quite...
I feel like I would be entertained.
Hilarious.
I think I would be. Because I did quotations for funny, because some people said it was funny. Some people said it was, like, Gen Z funny. Which, hello, I'm Gen Z.
I mean, it's so absurd. Some of the stuff that happens, that's what makes me laugh.
Campy.
It's just, campy, and I was like, wow. But anyways, so censors can, like,
fuck up a movie.
Yeah. Which they're there for a reason, because we need the ratings to be able to have the correct audience view the films in theaters, at least. I mean, at home, it's a lot harder to
and also to promote.
So,
it's easier to promote a rated R than an N-17 sometimes.
So, yeah, but back in the 50s and the 60s, it was more like things they like didn't agree with couldn't be shown. Like
a lot more political.
Yeah, it's like a political censorship. And then another movie that I kind of talked about was this one called Homicidal, which is about this person is going around, like, this is one I don't remember completely the plot, but I wrote a really good film paper on it. Which were always my things, as my, like, film papers always revolved around women's sexuality, the women's gaze.
You should have done psychology of women's sexuality. No, it's psychology of sexuality. That's what it is, not women's sexuality.
Yeah, those are my things. And also the male gaze on women, and then like queer and otherness were always my kind of thing. So I really liked my LGBTQ theory class, and watched a lot of movies with a lot of the gay like subtext. Like Homicidal, they used the trans, because the person that ends up committing, spoiler if you want to go watch Homicidal from the 50s, the like twist is that the killer dresses up like a female, but they are male. I can't remember exactly, but it's something where they were pretending to be another gender, so then nobody knew that they were killing people. But throughout the movie, there's a lot of scenes that kind of show that they actually were being repressed, and that's what kind of drove them to...
were they actually transgender?
That is, like, what the movie, like, it can't really show, but I remember there's a scene where, I think it's a boy who wants to transition to be a girl. These are details that I'm not getting correctly right, because I haven't seen that one even longer than the children's hour. But there were, like, scenes where, like, they were having a doll, and they were, like, they had the doll removed, and they weren't allowed to play with the doll. Not that that means that doll equals wanting...
You want to be a girl.
Yeah, there were just other scenes going on. Like, they were kind of always obsessed with the woman figure, and, like, that movie, I thought, kind of, at the time, the, like, twist was, like, that they were, like, interested in the girl, but no, they wanted to, like, be the girl. And I have to watch it again, because I'm probably butchering a lot of things that happened, but I remember from my film paper how they were saying that the villain who was murdering people was, like, other and weird because they were dressing up as a woman, but in reality, they only wanted to be a woman and were being repressed from that, and so therefore they started killing people. Not, like, the best representation,
it's
of course, but
exaggerated overreaction. Yeah. But, like, I bet some people who've been in that situation doesn't want to kill people, but feel so angry that they could. Because I've gotten that angry before, and it wasn't even about being stuck in the same body, in the wrong body.
Yeah.
It was about people just cutting me off while driving.
Yeah. So
obviously, I'm not going to do anything, but like, just bumper car them. No. It kind of reminds me of the that movie reminds me of J.K. Rowling. Is that her name? Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
The woman who wrote Harry Potter.
Yeah.
She wrote another book that was about kind of like that. It was a murderer that was a man dressing up as a woman and killing people. But the thing that movie probably got right was that man wanted to be a girl. And this one, he wanted to dress up as a woman to have access to women. So that was a really bad book. Really bad book into transgenderism. She's Mormon. I think she's Mormon.
Is she against the gay
community? Yeah. Luckily, Harry Potter doesn't. I don't think Harry Potter has any of that in it.
No.
Which is interesting because she's Mormon, but she's writing about magic.
Yeah. I think Harry Potter, also, all of the movies predated those comments that she said. Like, nobody knew that this is how she was until she got on Twitter. And like,
that is true. That's why I bought my book from a different seller.
Yeah. So,
somebody who was selling it. I got my books collection from them. But to give them the money and not J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, exactly.
But the main difference was one was actually being repressed and the other one was just wanting to get access to women like that. Which is not good at all.
Then there used to be like a trope in like comedy movies or something, or like the idea of like the guy could pretend to be gay, so therefore he could like be around like girls.
There's also that's still a thing, not in media. Yeah. Well, TikToks I see it sometimes, but it's like always a prank on the people who are asking to be gay or something like that. But as a joke, I don't see it funny, but in real life, we use that trope sometimes where we're not like act gay, we're like act like my girlfriend.
Yeah.
When somebody's hitting on us and they won't get the hit, we always go, can you please be my girlfriend for a second? And for us, it's a lot more believable because we are bi. But I talked to my mom and she and her best friend would always do it and they're straight. And I was like, okay, so it's universal that most girls do this.
I think ours is more for safety, though. I think what I'm thinking is in the comedy movies, it was meant to be like a laugh.
But of the
like,
joke. Or the men who dress up as women as like the joke. Like I'm thinking Medea, Jack and Jill. But Jack and Jill is kind of funny. But Jack and Jill. Because the thing is, with Medea, the whole, there's a lot of jokes where they're saying, like, Medea's a guy and everything. So they're making fun of Medea being a guy. Like, that it's a nod to the audience.
Guy,
It's Tyler Perry. But with Jack and Jill, from what I remember, the butt of the joke wasn't that Jill was Adam Sandler dressed up as a girl. It was, they were twins, and it was funny because they were, like, very similar. And because they were the same person, so it was easy to be really, really similar. But from what I remember, I could be wrong because I watched Jack and Jill when I was in middle school, so I don't remember that. And I think I fell asleep halfway through the movie. I was really tired. But there's a whole trope of that's funny when guys dress up as girls, which you don't see that as much with girls dressing up as guys. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a movie where that was the premise.
The only one that I can think of is She's a Man, but she only did that to be able to play soccer. Not like to...
So that was... And they did a lot of jokes, but that was impersonating her brother.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a butt of the joke as she was dressing up as a
play
guy.
Soccer.
She wanted... Yeah. So there was a lot of like... But I think they did it in a way where it was... like clever because the guys are like, why do you have tampons in your bag?
Yeah,
it's good for nosebleeds.
Yeah,
so like stuff like because that's stuff I don't think it's poking fun at transgender.
Yeah,
I think it's actually realistic because a female to male who hasn't had sexual organ surgery. I don't know what that's called. Gender reassignment surgery. Thank you. Will that and still has a period would most likely use tampons, pads, cups, stuff like that. If they still have periods. So I think it's also a possible nod being like, well, people like this also, not impersonating your brother, but people who are actually transgender will have those things in their bag anyways.
But I think we should say we are not transgender. Of course. So we can't have the full opinion, but, we can still have an outside view of what we think is happening. But, like, if it offends a transgender person, then that's not our place to, decide that. But we can have a view on what we kind of view it as. Perceive.
Yeah. Because, like, when I'm okay with empathy. I'll agree. I'm okay with it. Sometimes I'm not good at it. Sometimes I'm really good at it. When it comes to... like being transgender, I can not empathize because I've never been in a situation where I'm stuck in my own body. But I can highly sympathize.
Yeah.
Because my thing about empathy and sympathy is empathy is really, really hard unless you have somebody who is like you.
Yeah.
So me and you can empathize very, very well because we're bisexual. Our sex is female. We identify as women. We're closely around the same age and same generation. Different familial backgrounds, but sort of similar in some places.
We kind of live a shared experience in a way.
Yeah, so we
similar.
can empathize with each other very, very easily. But for me, to me and me only, I think it's a kind of kick in the face when somebody who doesn't know tries to empathize.
Yeah.
Because you don't know.
Yeah.
You can 100% sympathize with me. Because empathizing is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. In reality, nobody knows how it feels to be in somebody else's shoes if you're not similar to that person.
That's true.
Because I think we talked about this in one of my psychology classes, that empathizing and sympathizing can be very different because I cannot empathize with a 40-year-old man because I don't know what it's like to be a 40-year-old white man or a 40-year-old black man. I do not know what it's like to be a black 24-year-old because I don't have that same experience or background or anything like that. I can sympathize. I can imagine what it was like, but I don't know what it's like because it's totally different for every single person in the world, what their experiences are. So I hope that doesn't offend anyone. But like, I highly sympathize with people. Yeah. That's why I say I'm iffy at empathizing because it depends on the person who I'm with or if we have a shared experience in some way. Because then you can empathize with them. You know what it feels like. You maybe not in that moment, but you have in the past, or your ages and gender and sex and everything is similar, then you kind of empathize. Or like there's a shared one. Like I can empathize with other women because I know what it feels like. Or I've never experienced it, well, I know how it would feel if I was a woman because I am a woman. Yeah. But yeah, for like a man, I don't have any empathy or sympathy for a white, middle class, heterosexual, cisgender man. Yeah. I have no empathy because, bitch, you get great things.
The most privileged.
The most privileged. And they're the ones that fight and be like, I'm not that privileged. I'm like, bitch, you think? Yeah. You think you're not that privileged?
Like you can still have...
You can walk in the dark.
Problems in your life, but that doesn't mean you do not have that privilege. Just like we have more privilege, like being white women than black women. But
100%.
All women have less privilege than men. So
So it's a checks and balances. Yeah. Like a black man has less privilege than a white man, but a black man has more privilege than a black woman. Yeah. Because women and black are two minorities, and then man is a majority. Yeah. Which technically I think that's being questioned because I think there's more women in the world than men, but we're still the minorities because we still get our rights taken away day by day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Do you know, sorry, this is completely off. It's kind of, do you know that Florida is trying to pass a don't say period law?
That's wild.
Because they already passed the don't say gay law, I think.
Oh my God.
Or it's being talked about.
Oh, we have free speech here? Do we?
We have no safe space in Florida. Florida's going downhill. Yeah, not only do they have that, the don't say period law possibly being talked about, they also have the immigrant stuff going on where people are boycotting Florida, like immigrants Florida. That came to the country are banning going to Florida because of what's going on in Florida with, I think, what the governor is saying. I think that's DeSantis. What he's been saying. So they're... Which is so sad because I know so many people who moved to Florida. My coworker just moved to Florida. I'm like, yikes. And then we also have Montana passing the ban on transgender, drag queens going to libraries, which is against their First Amendment right. Yeah. And then what else? There was also Uganda passed their horrible LGBTQ ban where they could get life or death if they engage in homosexual activities. I'm like, are you saying people can't have sex with whoever they want inside their own home?
Well, I think, isn't Russia still like that too?
Russia,
I get killed for being gay. And
I don't know about Russia. Wow. But I know from when listening to the news, Biden is getting upset, and I think he said he's going to send aid to Uganda. And I heard an interview of a woman who used to live in Uganda, who was an LGBTQ activist in Uganda. And she was like, how did I become my own refugee in my own country?
Yeah.
And she had to leave because of it, because I think she was part of the LGBTQ community. Oh my God. Burn it. Just burn the whole earth and restart.
We have stuff here that's going on too. Like recently we had a protest at our Capitol because there's a bill that was put up which was both about abortions and also about gender like reassignment care and like making
reassignment care or gender affirming care.
I don't know.
Assignment means surgery, and you have to be at least, I think, 18 or 21.
Oh, it's the care, like no.
Then gender affirming care is for the younger kids.
Like no hormones or anything like that, and so that's been
Here's the thing.
Too. So.
I'm gonna go on a little rant because now I know what gender affirming care is. Because for the longest time, well, I learned like a couple of years ago, but a lot of people think gender affirming care means surgery, means hormone blockers, means tucking and blah, blah, blah. No. Gender affirming care can go as little as putting in the chart that they identify as he, him. If they are born female, but they identify as a male, he, him. So now when you go to a hospital, if it's passed, if you go to a hospital, they will call you by your birth name. They have to call you by your birth sex pronouns. You have to do that, and you won't have that gender affirming care in that way, or in other ways of gender affirming care can also go to therapy.
Yeah.
Spread to therapy for kids who have gender dysphoria, who don't know, or they feel they're stuck. Like that could spread to therapy because that's technically also medical care. It's medically health care, but mentally health care, but it's still technically health care. So that could have spread even to therapy. And here's the reality. No child is getting gender, what was the surgery called again? Reassignment surgery. That's not happening in America. Yeah. You can't have that until you're 18. The only time they've ever done that was medical emergency, and they didn't like change gender. It's like if somebody has like a child or a 16-year-old or whatever has something wrong with their ovaries, getting a hysterectomy.
Yeah. Or they'll do
that's the only kind of
intersex too. Where but technically they still are.
What are they going to do for intersex now? Yeah. Like they're both, so what are they going to do? Like they can't technically identify as one or the other because then they're denying the other one. Yeah. So like do they have to like now say like their sex? Well, technically I think they're supposed to do that as intersex, but like what pronouns would they go by now? Because now they can't identify because they can't do that in the medical field if it's passed and stuff like that. And it's not happening. The thing is, people are assuming people are having surgery. Do you know how hard it is to be a 20s woman to get a hysterectomy, to get your ovaries taken out, to get the whole thing taken out? One person said they had to go to 4 different doctors. And fourth one still was like, are you sure? And she's like, get it out of me.
Yeah.
So, and it's that hard to just do it. You think it's that easy for a 14-year-old to do that? No.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
More taking away their, like, ability to try to figure out their identity. And
Are they also gonna? Sorry, I'm modeling you now. Are they also gonna block all hormone blockers or changer things?
I think it was just like anything under 18, like related to gender.
To gender, okay, because like there's normal kids, There's cisgendered kids who also get hormone blockers or hormone stuff to induce their puberty, because like there's kids who start their period too soon, so they have to go on blockers, or are growing too fast and having too many hormones, so they get hormone blockers.
I think those they're not touching, because I think they're still medical use.
Yeah.
Where they're not seeing the
Okay, then are they going to stop circumcisions? Because technically, they're doing unnecessary surgery on a child.
There's a lot of
and that's like newborns.
Picking and choosing of what we...
Yeah. Are they going to stop birth control now too? Because some people use it.
Well, I've heard.
For children.
Shit like that.
Not children.
Could be possible.
Are they going to start... This is about abortion now. Are they going to start arresting women for having miscarriages? Because their body was like, no.
It's a slippery slope. But yeah,
this country, burn it.
Yeah.
Burn this country down, start anew. I'll be Adam, you be Steve.
Yeah. Or I'll just go to Iceland.
Or Eve and Angela. Yes, we'll go to Iceland. Even though there's like nobody there.
Yeah. But that might be nice.
It's cold. Maybe where's the other place that everyone's happy?
Finland.
Let's go to Finland.
Yeah. We can be Finnish.
I mean, we can look the part, but we can. And also, I think they're really, really tall.
Yeah.
So you might blend in. They'll look at me and go, yeah, you're not from here.
Yeah.
You're short.
Yeah, so that's why I also think representation can be a very empowering thing now, especially with all the shit going on. Like, we need to still have the representation.
Mm-hmm.
And even if people get upset about it, it's like...
Like the whole thing with Bud Light?
Yeah.
Oh my God. People boycotting Bud Light because one person who's transgender was a sponsor.
Well, I saw a TikTok
sponsored by them.
Of this person being like, we're no longer drinking this beer because they showed pride stuff, and like pours the beer, and then the guy goes, so what are you going to drink now? This other beer, and shows another pride thing.
Oh yeah, and like here's the thing.
Like,
Jess, have you seen the Target stuff going on too?
Yes.
Oh my God. And you know how it all started, right? Was with the tucking swimsuits.
Yeah.
Do you know that was adult tucking swimsuits that they brought to the children's section? Because there were no children tucking swimsuits at all. It was a small sex men, because it was tucking, sex men swimsuit for small men. And they brought it to the children's section. And it's like, that's an asshole thing to do. But also, you're like, stop indoctrinating children. Okay, stop with all there's a really good TikTok. I don't know if I sent you this. Really good TikTok where a guy was saying, do you know how many t-shirts I saw lock up your kid or lock up the girls for
I saw that
boy shirts
too, or like the daughter, or like something like very sexist about like, oh, she'll be like a great housewife someday.
Yeah.
And then the little boy's t-shirt is like, he's going to be a heartbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Lock up your girls. I saw that one too, and he's like saying how like horrific. That was like,
yeah, it's sexist. It's
yeah.
indoctrinating children to being heartbreakers or a housewife or there's like I saw like Little Princess and I was like, okay, that's cute. But then like the boys was doctor, and I'm like, why does she get to be a princess but he gets to be a doctor?
Yeah, exactly.
Or there would be doctor and nurse, and I'm like, okay, why can't it be flipped?
Yeah.
Or like to have both. Or like, are you gonna stop putting religious stuff on kids' things too? Stop making kids' Bibles.
There's also the thing of like, everyone like, don't show the kids like the gay stuff, but then like there'll be like you hear with little boys like, oh my gosh, look, this newborn baby, like he's got a girlfriend already, like already pushing that like agenda on this baby who has no idea like what
a girlfriend is.
What a girlfriend is, what, like, attraction is, what sexuality is. Like, this baby don't know anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still
found a friend.
Push that on them, being like, oh, is that your girlfriend when you're, like, 2 years old? Like, I don't really think so.
Yeah.
Like,
and you notice how a lot of newborn toys are gender neutral. There's not, like, newborn.
Yeah.
While, when they start getting into the age of, like, 2 is when they start getting more gendered.
Yeah.
We can go on a whole high rant about gender toys.
Because we talked about that, and I took a, like, infant and toddler class, and we talked about toys a lot.
Gendered toys, clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was thinking about having children when I was a lot younger, thinking about, is that what I want in the future? I was like, well, I would like to have gender neutral names. So then, not saying that I'll force it on the kid, but it's more like if they have an option, they can still go by their birth name.
Yeah.
Because it's gender neutral. Unless they really want to go by a different name. But also, like, I don't want to do the pink and blue shit because I don't care. I know guys who like pink. I know girls who like blue. I like blue. So I'm like, just put in a fucking yellow thing. Like, or a purple.
A color.
It's a color. Why do you gotta, like, I get it for, like, gender reveal because it's fast, it's easy, you know what kind of sex the baby is gonna be. I get it. But don't give me, and also, on top of that, I fucking hate pink. If I have a girl, don't give me pink shit. I'm not gonna dress her up in pink shit. I don't like pink. I don't even like yellow, so don't even get yellow. Get black, white, purple. That's it. No in between. No. But it's really weird because, and a lot of people don't understand that gender is a social construct. Yeah. It is what we made it. Like, sex is not. Sex is biological. Like, I was born a female. You were born a female. But gender is what we identify as. Yeah. Like, I might have female organs, but I might not identify as a man. As a female. I might identify as a man. I might identify as gender neutral. Where I don't like the stigma. Which I understand. There needs to be more gender neutral. Because I understand the hype of not wanting to be one or the other. Because I think our society has changed a lot. Like, women can wear pants now. Women can wear shorts. Women can wear sneakers or tennis shoes and stuff like that.
We can show our ankles.
We can show our ankles, our wrists. Well, in some countries.
Yeah,
we can. Here we can. But, like, so what if a guy wants to wear a dress or a skirt? They're comfortable. Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes dresses are not comfortable.
I've always heard, like, a guy that will try on a skirt, he's like, wow, this is really comfortable. Why don't I wear this more? It's like, they're comfortable.
So, the thing is, and I will agree, there's a big stigma with men when it comes to clothing. Like, they can only have pants, shorts, t-shirts, tank tops, while women have a lot more variety, and we're allowed to wear men's clothing.
Yeah.
But when a man wears a woman's clothing, ooh, game over.
Yeah.
Like, my mom and I both wear men's clothing because, one, it's comfortable. And two, it's baggier, so we can wear baggier clothes and it's comfortable. But when a man wants to wear a dress, it's like, it's game over.
Or a crop top, God forbid.
Or a crop top. And here's the thing. Some men can really pull off crop tops better than I can.
No. It's like, his belly button, no.
Well, here's the thing.
You can take your shirt off.
You can take your shirt off and not be arrested, but once you wear a crop top, it's a whole other thing.
What is the...
Well, you can't be arrested for a crop top, but, like, it's a stigma norm for a guy to take off his shirt and be shirtless, but it's not a norm for him to wear a half shirt.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing?
But the thing is, we can wear men's clothing and it's completely normal. I can go out in men's shorts, a men's t-shirt, probably not men's shoes because I got small feet, but like tennis shoes, and wear a baseball cap. And it's normal. I look normal. But when a guy wants to wear a skirt or a crop top, it's then like this huge, horrible abomination of a man. They're not really a man.
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know they're not really a man? They're a man to themselves.
They must be gay.
Or must be gay, transgender, must be, or non-binary a lot. Like, no, because there's also a subcategory of gender is gender expression.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a cisgender female. So I'm born female. I identify as a female. So my gender is female. My gender expression is neutral because I am not, I wouldn't say I'm a girly girl. I'm more neutral masculine. Not a girly girl. I don't typically like wearing girly clothes. I will if I need to. Like, if I need to wear something nice, all my guy clothing or my neutral clothing aren't super, super nice things. Like t-shirts, sweatpants, baggy pants. So if I need to wear something nice, I usually wear a girlier outfit. But, like, I don't typically, like, comparing me and you, I think your expression is a lot more feminine, while mine's a lot more neutral masculine. Because you look cute when you're going out, like, cute girly.
Yeah.
And then I go out and I sometimes look like a hobo.
Yeah.
Because I'm just wearing baggy everything. But, there's a subcategory of gender expression, which is completely different from your gender and your sex.
And it can be different every day.
Yeah. Like, one day I want to be girly.
Yeah.
So I'll wear something more feminine.
God forbid.
Or sometimes I want to wear something super baggy, so it's more neutral. Sometimes I want to wear, a guy's button up. I love their button ups. They're so soft.
I loved my, yesterday, just my cargo pants. I was feeling that, and I wasn't outwardly, very girly. And I was like, I like this. But then
so
I
that would
like
be
my
more
skirt,
neutral.
and then I like wearing just jeans. And,
I honestly, to be honest, I just want to throw gender expression out. Because it doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter if it's feminine or masculine. It doesn't matter. In all reality, if gender expression is still a thing, fucking neutral. Everything's neutral. Because it doesn't matter if you're female, feminine, or masculine wearing. They're all neutral. Because it's all clothing.
Yeah.
We all wear them. It's all a mini shelter that we have. So it doesn't
just
matter.
Cloth
it's literally cloth.
We wear on our bodies so we are not naked. And we are protected.
Yeah, we have some shelter. Besides our normal
to express
shelter.
how we want to look.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of, that's why it's called gender expression. Because it's, because I know a lot of people who are cis male, they identify as male, but they like wearing, more feminine clothing. Or if you attribute makeup to feminine, they wear makeup so it's more feminine. That's in quotations, because I don't see makeup as feminine. Yeah. I see it more as neutral, because anyone can wear it. Because it's an inanimate object.
Still the idea of men cannot wear it.
Which is funny because we all see Ryan Reynolds and we go, he is hot as hell. No matter gender, sex, anything. Or sexuality. Everyone says Ryan Reynolds is hot as fuck. Here's the thing. He wear makeup.
Yeah.
When he goes behind the camera, he needs to wear makeup. Obviously, it's not intense makeup like...
wearing makeup behind the scenes of a movie or TV.
Play. Every actor, model... in that realm, wears makeup, stage makeup.
Also, I feel like we're lucky because I can just throw some concealer on my bad spots, and then guys are like, what do I do about bad spots? I'm like, just throw concealer.
Just get concealer or press on foundation where it lightens it a little.
But yet, if a person found out he was wearing concealer, God forbid.
I have fought.
Geez.
I didn't fight, but with my ex-boyfriend, I wanted to put mascara on him. Because he had very nice lashes. I wanted to put mascara on it because they were kind of like a light brown. I wanted to darken them to see how long they really, really are. And he refused. He was like, mascara is for a girl. And I'm like, literally, nobody has said that. I mean, stupid people have said that. But nobody who is, from today's age thinks that. Yeah. Or they think it, but maybe they think it silently. They keep it to themselves. So, I mean, fuck, if you're a dude, you identify as a dude, fucking wear a skirt if you want to.
Yeah.
Have your gender expression be more feminine. Fuck it. To me, that's power. I think that's more alpha than fucking men with big fucking muscles and running around saying fuck women. So.
Or whatever you want to like. It doesn't have to be gendered.
Yeah, fuck it. You want to play with Barbies? Play with Barbies. I don't care what you are. Probably don't eat the stew.
Your popcorn from...
That's your popcorn. You bought that popcorn.
That's the popcorn that I gave you.
Yeah, and I ate some. Yeah. And then that's still your popcorn.
Yeah, I need to throw it away. Anyways, so I think representation is very important. Whether, in our class... we kind of talked about how representation at the time of like the 50s, even having like any kind of representation was celebrated. But of course, as time goes on, we want to see positive representations. But at that time, like that was a win just to even like have like a lesbian like subtext kind of thing happening. The transgender killer and homicidal, like even though they were trying like in the forefront being like this is the bad thing, people in the audience could see that and be like, oh, I see myself in that person. I can I have that experience of like I'm thinking in homicidal, the wanting to play with a doll and somebody being like, you can't play with dolls, you are a boy, and like taking that away. And so even though the representation of putting them,
they can play with superhero dolls.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are dolls.
So having like the villains be the LGBTQ, there's stuff in the background going on. But I feel like we've at least started to regress towards
progress. You said regress.
Oh, progress. To
regress, go back
in time. Better representation, even though it's usually still not like the most upfront. Like I'm thinking TV, even within like the 2010s, usually an LGBTQ character, at least in fantasy shows, would be killed off after they were given that. And so like at least there's a representation. They're not seen as like a villain type character, but they're killed off. And then I've seen that in a lot of CW shows. CW, what are you doing? Sometimes though it made sense for plot, but I feel like I'm starting to see a lot more of that representation. Like why I really like Love, Simon is it's just a nice like teen gay romance. Like there's not like
simple.
Yeah, it's not doom and gloom like all the gay people like see how hard their lives are. It's like, oh, Simon, he's dealing with stuff.
Yeah, for Love, Simon, from what I've heard from you, Love, Simon is more you're sympathetic about the person.
Yeah,
you're not sympathetic because he's a gay person. So there's a difference, and I think people in the LGBTQ can pick that up a lot more than people outside of it, because people outside of it don't understand like the differences.
Yeah.
Because people outside of it look at it and thinking, oh, this is sad because he's a gay person. No, this is sad because he's having problems.
Yeah.
Not because he's a gay person, just because he's a person who is gay.
Yeah. Which I've seen, like, sometimes people just want to see things, like, celebrated and not have to be like the worst like story, like, oh, look how hard being a gay person is. Sometimes people want to see those stories and they want those to be told, to be like, these are the real struggles we go through, but also it's nice to have the gay representations which are more like happy and like celebratory. Like it's good to have both kind of things, but not have one be the main thing. Like if they completely went no more showing hardships of the gay people.
Showing hardships as a normal people problems. Because obviously LGBTQ have bigger problems, but some people don't have that similar experience.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of media portrays if there is an LGBTQ, I hate this fucking trope, but there's an LGBTQ character, either main character or side character or whatever, the parents are always disapproving of it.
Yeah.
There's always that trope. And I'm like, that's why I was so scared to tell my mom that I was bisexual, even though I knew for years she was supportive of LGBTQ. She never thought negatively upon LGBTQ, wanted the same rights as she wanted LGBTQ to have the same rights as she as a straight woman. Like she wanted that. Even though I knew that knowledge, because of how much media you consume and just the standard of every parent who has an LGBTQ child, it's hell. Yeah. They could get kicked out, they could be yelled at, they could be disowned, all that shit. And so when I came up to my mom, you were there for moral support.
Yeah.
And when I told her that I was bisexual, she was like, oh my God, is that it? I thought you were pregnant. I was like 21, around there.
Yeah.
Maybe. I was in college. So 21, maybe.
Yeah.
I came out to my mom in the summertime because it was June. Oh my God, my time is coming up now. My anniversary. Yeah. But it was funny because I actually came out to my brother first on accident. Because I was talking to him and I accidentally slipped saying I'm part of the LGBTQ community. He went, what do you mean by that? And I went, oh, well, I'm bi. Oh, and he went, oh, yeah, I kind of expected that. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, by the way you speak about girls, you speak the same way as I speak about girls. So I knew something wasn't fully straight there. And I was like, okay, cool. But I told him not to tell mom until I was ready. Yeah. And actually, fun fact, I don't think my parents watch this or listen to this, but fun fact, I was actually more scared to tell Jeff, my stepdad, so I didn't. I went, can you tell Jeff to my mom? And she told him out of just in a middle of a discussion. I went, oh yeah, by the way, Tessa came out to me as bi. Jeff wasn't upset because I was bi. He was upset because I didn't tell him myself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, when I saw him the next time, and he was like, oh, I wish that you would have told me. And I was like, honestly, no offense to my mom, if she would have denied me, I would be really, really upset. But if Jeff denied me or disowned me, I think that would hurt more because I already have experience of being quote unquote disowned, more neglected by my birth father. So I was terrified that was going to happen again. Yeah. And I was going to be triggered all over again. So I was like, I can't physically be in the same room when that happens. Because if he does get upset, I would be in a spiral. But luckily, he was very accepting. I came out on Facebook, I think later in that month. Because I think I came out early June with my mom. Yep. Social media I posted. And the reason why I did that was more like, I don't give a fuck what my extended family feels about me. Obviously, okay, I'd be upset if my extended family disowned me. But at the same time, as long as my parents were okay with it, I don't care. If my grandparents have something to say. Luckily, I think my grandparents on my stepdad's side, very open, very accepting. I don't know about my mom's side, because they're very Christian. Very Christian. I think they accept it, but they're still thinking I'm going to hell. Which,
There's not to detract from your story, but there is this song that I really like called This Hell. It's by a bisexual UK artist, and that's the whole entire thing is they say we're going to hell, but a little fun there is what the whole song is.
We will sent to the TikTok. I will teach Satan how to do TikTok dances.
Lil Nas X, he
went to hell, so it's fine.
He did went to
he
hell.
Owned hell.
Had a lap dance with Satan,
Pole dance his way down, and I want to strive to do that.
I feel like he may like us because we're the ones who, I guess, are, even though not on purpose deciding I'm going to be gay to go against the Christian people, but we are technically against the Christian people by their standards, so therefore he might just
Yeah. I remember having a conversation. This is now divulging into just LGBTQ in general instead of just the movies. But I remember very recently having a discussion with my mom and my grandma, which we are 3 different generations. And so my grandma, being very Christian, isn't super against LGBTQ. She just has that underlining, they're going to hell, but also has the same skewed of gender affirming care shouldn't be a thing, transgender shouldn't be a thing. Mm-hmm. She said an outrageous thing. I'm going to stop this so I don't blast my grandma real quick. Okay, there we go. So I told her. It made you cough?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my grandma told me that. And that spun me. Because that's never happened to me,
Yeah.
and I'm still bi.
No.
So, but my grandma said something outrageous, and my mom, being the amazing ally she is, stood up for not only me, but the whole community, being like, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. They were born this way. That's not how that works. And so, you know, and she was like, well, my mom was like, well, there's kids out there who are 2 years old and they know they're not straight.
Yeah.
They know something's a little different, or the parents know something's a little different.
Yeah.
And they don't truly know until they're like 10,
There's just like
9,
a general,
around there.
like,
because then you kind of know. Like, I didn't realize my first crush was a girl until I was 19 years old. And I really thought about it. I'm like, I always thought my first crush was a boy named Isaiah in 3rd grade. But I realized I had a crush on my best friend, Mercedes. Blossom. Mercedes, back in 1st grade. I remember really liking her. And I wanted her to be, I called her my husband. I wanted her to be my husband. I didn't understand you could be wife and wife.
Yeah.
Because obviously 1st grade, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And the media only showed me wife and husband. So I was thinking, Mercedes will be my husband.
Well,
and I will be my wife.
Makes it seem like that is the normal.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you don't get exposed to, like, LGBTQ people. Even, like, if you yourself kind of have those feelings, you may, like, have the internalized homophobia or just in general not realize it because of the representation you're seeing.
Which I didn't come to terms until I was, like, 19.
Yeah.
Because I was always in denial, being like, oh, I just have a crush on my best friend because this was older. When I was in high school, I'm like, I only have a crush on my best friend because I just really, really like her. She's just, like, my person. And so not until you're, like, fully mature to understand those deeper feelings, being like, okay, well, I felt a different way with that girl best friend in high school than I feel with you.
Yeah.
Because that means there was something more romantic then, most likely. And also, I want to squash the trope. If you're bi, lesbian, gay, and you have a same-sex friend, does not mean you want to fuck your friend. Does not mean you are interested, because we still got our types.
Yeah.
We still, like, for me, I like more gothy girls. Well, you said you like, did you say short girly girls?
Yeah, like short, cutesy.
I'm trying to think, like pastels.
Yeah.
Like kind of, and so and we are not each other's types.
Yeah.
Because
we're friends, therefore we want to sleep together.
We want to sleep together.
And because we're friends, or we're bisexual girls that are friends with each other who are girls, therefore it is okay to ask us
for three-ways if we've ever had one. Would we consider one? Ugh. Stop
that
it.
Is a huge, like...
That's a pet peeve.
Bisexual thing, like... Or, like, even, like, I think this happens to lesbian girls, too. Like, if they're friends, they'll be like... But, like, if they had, like, a guy friend, they'll be like, well, you know, couldn't you just, like, sleep with me, like, with your friend? Like,
no.
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 That's just so
we still got boundaries.
Oh.
But, like, that or, I've gotten another, I would say, bisexual struggle. Maybe lesbian or gay, too. Is whenever I tell a guy, it's always a guy. Whenever I tell a guy that I'm bisexual, the next question isn't, can I have a three-way with your roommate? Is, oh, so you like three-ways? And I'm like, that's not what I said at all.
Yeah.
Or there's another stigma where if you're bi, you're poly too.
Yeah.
Which in some cases maybe, in other cases no. For me, I am not poly. I cannot do poly. Well, maybe one day. Maybe I would want to do poly. Because I don't know. I think commitment now is a huge issue with me. Mm-hmm. So maybe casual poly would be fine. But like I'm not usually into poly. If I want to like partner, I'm really monogamous.
Monogamous.
Okay, so I said it right. But it felt wrong. But that's another assumption is you're poly.
I've gotten Well, so you've been with a girl before? No. So how do you know that?
If you're bisexual. Here's the thing. So
How do you know?
So with bisexuality is a whole different thing than romantic relationships. Like, you can be bisexual, but you can be like only date the opposite sex. I can't remember what it's called. Hetero-romantic, I think that's what it's called. So if you're bisexual, hetero-romantic, it means you will have sex with men or women, but you only date the opposite sex. So, like, I think that's kind of in your realm. I think I shouldn't assume. Are you bisexual, hetero-romantic?
Yeah. Because when I see myself romantically with someone, it usually ends up being a male. Other than my dreams really want me to be with a cute, tiny girl.
Well, maybe then you could be... I know there's questioning, too,
Yeah.
where you don't know for sure. Like, you can see yourself. Or maybe biromantic, too.
Yeah.
You could romantically date. You just veer more towards men.
Yeah, I think I skew more towards men, but if there was, like... I wouldn't...
If you found your person and your person's a girl, you would do it.
Yeah.
So,
And then you can also, another thing, is you could still be bisexual and be in a relationship with
a guy.
With a guy.
Or with an opposite sex person.
Or a female. Like, you can still, it doesn't erase your, they're like, oh, well, then are you a lesbian then? No. You're still...
Yeah. Well, yeah, if it's flipped where it's a woman who is bisexual but only dates her own gender or own sex, then that doesn't make her a lesbian. It just makes her bisexual, but she only dates women. So, I mean, like for me, my whole thing's a mouthful, is technically, I always say bisexual. I'm technically pansexual. I just hate telling people what pansexual means, because I always have that conversation where people are like, what's the difference between pansexual and bisexual? I'm like, bisexual, you're dating within the binary, men, women. Pansexual means everyone inside and outside of the binary, men, women, non-binary, transgender, like anyone in and outside.
Also be me, because my dating, when I had dating apps, they were open for everybody. I'd see like a non-binary person, I'd be like, so then
you'll probably be
ends up
pan
being
then.
Easier.
It's just so much easier to say bi because everyone kind of knows what that means.
Yeah.
So instead of pansexual, and I also get the stupid jokes like, "Oh, you want to fuck pans?" No, that's not what I said.
That is
no. So I'm pansexual, demi-romantic, which means pansexual. Date anyone, have sex with anyone. Demi-romantic means I need to have some kind of connection. It can't just be a sexual connection. I need some kind of connection. A lot of times it's friends, being friends. For me, it's talking for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't go on one date with somebody and say, yes, I only want to date you from now on. Like, that's not how I work. Like, I have to have some kind of foundation before I go into a relationship. And I didn't listen in this last relationship. I just went in head first. Fuck it. And it fucked me over. So, but most of the time, like, I like to be at least friends with somebody before, not like best friends, like at least somewhat of an acquaintance where I kind of know about you. I know your interests. I know, like, right off the bat. I don't like getting into a relationship and then learning. I want to know the person mostly inside out before I commit to them. So that's why, like, Luciano, I dated, I was friends with Luciano for years, and then I dated him. And then we found out it was more platonic. So that's my kind of thing, where I need some kind of connection beyond sexual.
I work a little differently. Like, I can do dates and not have, like, because for me, friends is a little bit more, like, difficult for me to maneuver, being like, like becoming friends or like really well acquainted, when my mind was more like, I'm more straightforward with, I want to date unless it's more of a spontaneous thing. Like, my boyfriend now was more like spontaneous rather than
I think for me, if there's a spark there, I'll follow it.
Mhm.
But I'm not fully committing to it.
Mhm.
Because also on top of that, like I'm talking to a couple guys, but I told them straight up, like I'm not looking to date right now. I'm honestly trying to be more friends first and then
Mm-hmm.
because one, recent breakup, don't want to date really anyone, go out on dates. I don't want to do that right now. I mentally can't do that. So that's why I'm talking not only to men, but also to women. Being very straight up, being like, I just want to be friends first. I don't want an undergraduate loan. I don't need an undergraduate loan. But sorry, I got another email. But that's what demi-romantic usually is having like a connection before dating.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that I was seeing before, X, you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Colorado. I'll say Colorado. Colorado guy. He's like that,
Mm-hmm.
where he needs to be friends with somebody first before committing to a relationship. He's more on the extreme level. Like, it has to be 6 months to a year. Me, I'm more on, like, 3 months. Because then I kind of know, if I'm talking to you regularly, then I kind of know where to go. Right now, it's a lot longer because I'm still in that healing process of my past relationship. So now maybe it's going to be 6 months until I'm ready to actually commit to somebody or start even going on dates, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm still in that grieving. Whoop, whoop. But yeah, and there's like there's so many other like types and lists, hetero, romantic, biromantic, homo, romantic. There you go. Means same sex /
There
gender.
can be like also intersection between gender and sexuality. Like you can be non-binary because that's gender, but then be
bisexual, which is within the binary.
Yeah,
because they're not in the most.
Yeah.
It's kind of rare you see it because they usually don't. Also, might want to also date non-binary, so they're most likely pansexual. Because if you're non-binary, most of the time you don't like or care about from my experience of talking to people about this, they don't not respect. That's not the right word. They don't care for the binary.
Yeah.
So most of the time they'll date outside of the binary or be pan because they don't believe in the binary. So why do bi? Because then you're forgetting a whole bunch of other people.
It's all different. We're all different people.
But I bet there's people who are non-binary and also just strictly bisexual. Or I wonder if there's no, that'd be fetishizing. I was thinking, could you like have where you only date or have sex with people who are transgender? Would that be fetishizing? No. I think if you put it to an extreme point, then it could be fetishizing. Where you want to do it only because they're transgender.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it is fetishizing. I don't really understand the difference between fetishizing and only dating that one thing.
Yeah. It's an interesting
it's a line
to try to
balance.
Yeah.
That'd be a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
We could do a whole episode on fetishizing. That'd be interesting.
Especially
everything.
Us as
bisexual girlfriend.
Yeah.
Girl space friends.
Which
girlfriend.
I was gonna say I think we need more bisexuality out there. Come on. We get kind of left behind sometimes. I
wonder if there's actually more bisexual people than lesbian and gay.
Yeah.
But we just don't have as much representation.
Yeah.
It's usually lesbian or gay.
Yeah.
Or transgender. There's also
representation.
I think it's getting better.
Yeah. One of my favorites is Heartstopper. Heartstopper has gay, it has lesbian, transgender, and a bisexual character. It has everybody because Heartstopper Nick, who's the love interest of our main character Charlie, he used to only date girls, and then he ended up liking Charlie, but then when he talking to Charlie. He's like, but I think I like both. But he's like confused about it because this is like his first time really thinking about guys. That's so sweet. And he tells his mom that. Heartstopper is one of my favorite representations for just like really nice and wholesome because his mom is like really like receptive and like open and positive about it, and she doesn't quite understand the concept, but she asks him like, can you explain to me what that means?
That's the best thing to do. I think from the psychology behind it, that's the best thing to do.
I loved it. I was like, yes, Mom. Like, she doesn't know, but she
wants to
know, which like I have that with my mom, where she didn't know a whole lot, but as me and my sibling kind of grew into ourselves and started expressing who we were within the LGBTQ, which I never told my mom, but I don't care at this point. If she listens to this,
she probably knows. Yeah. I think
with my big crush on Megan Fox, I feel like
she might have an indication. Well, what's nice is because you already have a sibling who is bisexual, your mom probably sees the same kind of thing, so she probably can inference that, well, they kind of act the same way. It might not be, but they kind of act similar, so Lyrica might be bisexual too.
I'm always like, oh, it's my Pride nails time. I'm going to Pride, and like I don't say like, because you can go to Pride, of course, and have Pride nails and be an ally, but I don't ever say like, oh, as an ally, I'm just like, I'm going to Pride. I got my Pride nails on. Yep. She doesn't question. Yeah, so my mom also kind of did that with Cal, and like tried to figure out and understand more. And now my mom's a very big, outspoken person on things where she'll like call people shit out on Facebook who
like an ally.
Yeah, my mom was never outwardly like against gay people. She was just more like she didn't have a lot of LGBTQ people around her, and so
she was just ignorant. Yeah. Nope. Yep, ignorant.
And she didn't really think about it, and then until like my sibling, and then my mom's like the biggest like supporter now. So it's always nice to have those, because there is a reality of like parents throwing out their kids, which is so sad. Like
it's a reality that does happen,
and it's not everyone's reality. Which I am a big fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, and what's really interesting about it, well, like
where did that connect?
They tend to have times where they talk about like how their parents are, and then in Drag Race they have some are like, yeah, my parents are so supportive of me. They come to my drag shows. They let me put them in drag. And then you have some stories, which are the bad and sad ones, where like my family threw me out. I lived on the streets. Like it's not always one or the other. So it's nice to have both of those.
Or you have the middle where people just don't understand, but they want to learn. So it's kind of like, in the best case scenario, having a truly just pure accepting and somebody who already knows like LGBTQ community and stuff like that, that's always the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Second best is that kind of almost neutral, where they don't really know, but they don't outwardly like hate it or against it or anything. Because my mom was supportive of me, but she's never had a bisexual child before. She's never had a lot of people who are bisexual around her. She grew up in 2 small towns. Like, she was also like a small school, so there wasn't a lot of representation. So, she would ask me questions too. And like, I think there's a lot of, like in every group, there's some bad apples.
Yeah.
And I think the bad apples make it hard for people who are not in the community to ask questions.
Yeah.
When in reality, people in LGBTQ community don't care if you do ask questions.
Yeah.
Like, as long as they're not disrespectful, inappropriate questions, like going up to a transgender female to male, being like, male to female, so how do you tuck? Like, that's like, okay.
Or have
maybe,
you got the surgery yet?
Like, have you got the surgery?
People
like,
that shit. Like,
that's, if it was a one-on-one conversation and you knew the person and you were genuinely interested in talking and, like, does it hurt? Like, that's a little bit more acceptable if you know the person. If it's a stranger out in public or just a stranger one-on-one, that's not really an appropriate question to ask.
Yeah, like, do I ask you what genitals you have?
Yeah, no.
Not usually.
Or, like, boobs. Like, some drag queens use fake boobs. Some are transgender and actually have breasts. So, like, asking, are those real? Like, whoa, okay. You wouldn't go up to somebody who had plastic surgery or who have nice boobs, ask if they're real.
Yeah, like,
that's not really a socially acceptable thing to ask. But, like, if you want to, like, I had a conversation with Cal asking questions about, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know for sure if they wanted that blasted, but your sibling is non-binary. And so I don't have a lot of experience with non-binary because I've never talked to somebody who is binary before. So I asked them genuine questions from a respectful place. And, you know, most people in the community are accepting of those questions if they're appropriate for the time and the person that you're talking to.
I think also the comfortableness, like, of who you're talking to.
Yeah. If, like, obviously Cal would be a lot more comfortable talking to me and you because we're part of that community, so we kind of a little bit understand, we can sympathize, we can't fully empathize because we're not like that, but we can empathize in some areas and sympathize in others. So, like, it's a lot easier to ask. And, you know, and being upfront, but still respectful can be a great thing. Like, Cal was born a female, but now non-binary. We both knew them before as her. Mm-hmm. You knew them as her their entire life. And I've known Cal for, like, 2 years before?
Yeah.
Roughly, as her. So, you know, being respectful so they understand, I'm like, and I think you also did that, and so did your family, being like, you know, we've known you for so long going by her. It's going to be hard changing her today. Yeah. But when we do that, we're actively trying to change it. We promise. And I told Cal that, and they were very understanding. They're like, I get it. It happens. As long as you're trying and not doing it out of disrespect.
Yeah, not on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. Like, sometimes it'll slip and we won't realize it, and then we'll catch each other on it. And it's never an angry thing to each other. Yeah. We're never like, they go by they. We're just like, they. And you're like, oh, yeah, they. Yeah. Or we'll catch ourselves in those moments, too. And so, and it's never, and I've done that to Cal on accident a couple times, calling them her. And they've never gotten angry. Because they understand it's such a change. Yeah. Because it's such an automatic thing to us now. So it's such a change. They always, and I always catch it in time, so I always turn it back to they. And they've never gotten angry. They've never, because they understand it doesn't come from a disrespectful place. And so
your mind just slips into that because
it's so used to it.
Used to know.
Her and him, you're so used to it.
The same thing with Sam Smith, where I have to catch myself and be like, no.
For me, it's Trisha Paytas. They go by they, I think. Now they were her. Now they're they.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if they went back to her or not, or if they identify as they her, but they did go by they for a long time. So I don't know for sure if it's still there, but that was mine because I always listen to that kind of stuff. Sam Smith is also one of the ones I try and change as much as possible. But again, in every group, no matter what place it is, religion, LGBTQ, cops, all different types of groups, there's always going to be a few bad apples that ruin the whole patch. So that's why a lot of people think that if you question somebody who's LGBTQ, they're going to be angry and blah, blah, blah. Most of the time that is not true. If you say it in a nice, respectful way, we will answer it. Like, if somebody genuinely has questions about being bisexual, like, not like, so you'll have sex with a boy and a girl, it's like, well, duh, that's what bisexual means. Or like, will you have a 3-way with these people? Like, it's not, those are weird. You wouldn't, hopefully, go up to a straight girl and be like, so would you have sex with this guy and this guy and this guy? Like, and such like that. Like, if somebody asked me, like, so what's the reality? What's your story of being bisexual? How does it affect you? What does it really mean? Like, what does it all mean? Like, if somebody genuinely has questions about that, and if I trust them and I want to dive into the deeper stuff about bisexuality, like sex, like that, like, and I feel comfortable and they feel comfortable, hell yeah, give me the questions. But, like, it's always the respect, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's a tit for tat. If somebody asks you in a disrespectful way, then yeah, no matter who it is, they're probably going to get a little pissed off. Being like, out of all the questions, you asked me fucking that one? How about, like, how do I feel in a country that makes me feel so small?
Yeah.
Or doesn't really care about my community?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, that just, like, you don't have to agree. This is what I always say. You don't have to agree. You don't even have to support it, because that's against your own moral beliefs, whatever. Just respect it.
Yeah.
There's a difference. You don't have to believe in it. You don't have to agree with it. Support it. Just respect it.
Yeah.
If somebody is non-binary, just say they.
Yeah.
You don't need to put your beliefs onto somebody else. Yeah. That's always the thing.
Because it's also like that person will give the respect to you to say how you identify. It should just be the same thing. It shouldn't be a fight about it.
Yeah. If I ever heard, luckily I've never heard it. If I ever heard somebody who's non-binary saying like, oh, please call me they, them, and somebody blatantly goes against that, for the rest of the night or the rest of the time I'm around that person, whatever they identify with, I'm doing the opposite. Yeah. They identify as a female, well, great. Show him the room. Yeah, how does that feel? To make you feel like I'm calling you by something different than what you identify as.
Well, like, even the name thing, it's like, just call them by the name that they want. Like,
people do nicknames all the time.
Yeah, like my sibling's dad goes by his middle name, and nobody has a problem with that. Like,
and it has nothing to do with the first name.
Yeah.
Like, my nicknames have to do with my first name, but also, like, not every... I mean, yours kind of, but it doesn't really all the way, because you're missing kind of the crucial parts that make your first name.
Yeah.
Because you go by Ree, right? Nope, that's not right.
Well, my family calls me Ray, but that's
Ray.
My middle name.
What was your online name?
Leary.
Leary.
Cut off the last.
Yeah, and Leary does not sound like Lyrica. I mean, it comes from Lyrica, but, like, when you look at Leary, you don't automatically think Lyrica.
Yeah.
Well, Tess, you can automatically think of Tessa or Teresa. I get a lot.
Teresa.
Or my other one that I go by because of Nancy, I do now go by T sometimes. And T could stand for a million different names. So, I mean, like, it doesn't
matter. Just let people decide what they want to be called.
That's why I'm like, I'm just getting them non-gender names.
Yeah.
Neutral gender names. So then, if perchance they do identify as a different gender than their sex, or they're transgender, it's an easier transition for everyone. Mm-hmm. But also, if they want to go by a different name, fuck it, I don't care. Richard, they go by Dick. Like, or...
I'm so mature.
Charles,
people who
sometimes
decide
go by
to go
Bob.
by Dick these days, I'm just like...
Dude,
I'm gonna laugh every time. I'm sorry.
There's a funny thing that if you have somebody who's a guy, who is being an asshole, pretend that their name is Richard. That you forgot their name and you're calling them Richard. It's a nice subtle way of calling them a dick.
Hey, that's a Richard.
Yeah. No, you just go, oh, what's that, Richard? My name isn't Richard. Oh, sorry, I thought your name was Richard. Are you sure you're not a Richard? You look like a Richard.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think anybody modern times is naming their kid Richard.
Richard, yes. Dick, no.
Yeah, we're going.
I don't think they're going. Most of the time I hear Richie now. Richie. Or Rick, I see sometimes. So.
Do you want to talk about your gay Asian men before our episode ends?
I'd love to. I always call that my gay Asian men. Because I really only watch BLs. There's not a whole lot, I think, of lesbian. I'll double check that. If there is, I might want to watch it. But it's mostly BL, boy love. And again, so Taiwanese, and Korean are my go-tos. I think I watched like 2 Japanese ones. They're okay. I think Japanese has a lot more of a premise. Like I watched one where the world was ending. Like an asteroid was coming to destroy the world. And so like their whole little story, because they knew each other in their past. They're kind of like fuck buddies. Mm-hmm. And then they reunite when the world is ending and such. And they go on a thing. And it was a trip.
It's a good time to reunite. So the world's ending?
Oh, he hated. The main character hated the other dude. So it was kind of rekindling
keep
that.
my fuck buddy around.
Yeah. Well, I think they got stuck with each other. I can't remember why. But I only watched it once and I was like, hey. But it's called The World is Ending, I think. On Viki. Very, very... I have to watch it when you're not home because they have very intense sex scenes. And I don't want you to hear that. But there's that. I first started getting into BL with a Thai BL that I made you watch the first episode of. Cal loves it. Loves that BL. It's called Tharn Type. So now looking back at it, it's not my favorite. In fact, it has some issues.
Yeah.
Like a little sexual assaulty. I did not like those parts. I did like watching you watch them because you were just like horrified. So seeing that face was kind of funny. But like the actual, like there's that. There's another BL that kind of has a sexual assaulty scene that was supposed to be disturbing. So that one was good because they made it disturbing. While Thorn Type was like, oh, it's this cute little lovey thing, and everything. But you know, Thorn Type had like internal homophobia, which I really enjoyed. They had trauma, but it didn't have to deal with their sexuality, because that's a huge gripe, is sexuality is done by trauma and such. So
like a man is assaulted you, so therefore
you are gay. You are gay now. No. He struggles with his sexuality. Here's a big thing with Asian, though. Asian BLs. All countries I've seen this. Well, I shouldn't say all because I haven't watched all. So I'll say the 3 that I mainly watched. There's this trope that they don't realize they're gay until they meet a handsome man. I hate that goddamn trope. Like you had no idea you were gay until this one guy got you wrapped around a finger. You had no interest in having sex until you see this one man. I don't believe that shit. That's not usually how sexuality happens, but, you know, it is true sexuality is fluid.
Yeah.
Like, you can be lesbian, and then you meet a man, and then you're bi.
Yeah.
Like...
That's what it was.
Yeah. I have a friend that's like that.
In Heartstopper. But
yeah.
He also became friends with Charlie first. Maybe he is a little pansexual, or the one where...
Demi?
You fall in love with the person before, like,
Oh, that's also pan. Yeah. No, that's Demi. No, I don't know. Yeah. There's so many names.
But that was cute because they were really good friends. And then you can see him start liking. So I really like
I do have a friend who experienced that. Thought she was lesbian, had no interest in men, met a man at band camp,
Oh, no.
And fell in love with him. And I think they're still together, but that's when that's when she looked at herself and was like, well, maybe then I am bisexual. So maybe it does happen. But it's a big trope.
As long as it's not, like, meant to be, like, no, this is how it is. Like it's a trope. You know, tropes are...
repeated over and over and over.
For a reason where they... trope is a...
It kind of boxes.
Yeah.
It doesn't show a lot of representation of other.
Yeah.
Luckily, Korean, it has expanded a lot more. Mm-hmm. Some of the newer ones kind of have that trope. Some of them don't. So it's kind of like, there's now starting to get more, and same with Thai. I think that's also opening up, and I would also say Taiwanese might be, or sometimes you don't even know their sexuality, so you don't know in the past if they were into guys or not. So with Korean representation, it's gotten a lot better. Like their BLs were a lot shorter; they were like movie length. But now it's starting to get more into the 30-minute. I think there was one that was 40 minutes long each episode, but I think it was only like 6 episodes. Oh, never mind. I've seen a really good Japanese one. Well, it wasn't really good, but I've seen one that has a little bit more better representation. Beautiful Man wasn't that bad. I really like the main guy in it. Not the main dude, but the love interest. I really like him. He's very cute. He's also in a I don't know if it's a K-pop group or if it's a J-pop group, but he's in a group.
I was going to say it could be either if he's Japanese.
I can't, he is Japanese, but I don't know. I think it's a J-pop, but it might be a K-pop. I don't remember. But it's a tinier group. It's not a big, famous group.
Could be either.
Yeah. So.
K-pop loves to
mix.
Mix.
As long as you're Asian. Yeah. But even so, they still get, fans still gripe on them as being not Korean and everything. Whole ordeal. But some of the things I see on TikTok, I'm like, oh my god, shut up. Just be happy you have them.
Yeah.
Because you could lose them.
Yeah.
Like BTS. Anyways, so Korean has gotten a little bit better. I think their storylines have gotten a lot better. Or there's one that was called Line on Me. I really like that one. But I really, really like that one because it has like 13 episodes, which is like, or 16, I can't remember, 13 or 16. But they have like, usually a normal length of a KBL is usually 6 to 8, maybe 10. While this one had like 13 to 16 episodes. They were shorter. I think they were 20 minutes. Some of them were 30, and I think the final one was 40 minutes. Usually the last episode is always like give a bigger time. But Thai has always been kind of always longer episodes too. Mm-hmm. Like Tharn Type was 16 episodes, maybe around 16 episodes, and each episode is like 40 minutes. So it's a hassle to watch them. Sometimes they're really, really good. Sometimes I just want to watch like highlights. So I'll watch.
That's you. I am not that way. I like my long form entertainment.
Yeah.
Like,
even a movie is hard for me.
I'm here.
That's why I like KBLs a lot more because they're a lot faster. I mean, the moving of them is so fast though. But like it has to be. It's 8 episodes, 20-minute episodes. Like it's gonna be a fast love story. But Thai has always been a lot longer. Actually has some representation. They'll have like other gay characters. The also trope is if you see a man in an Asian BL, most likely they're gay. Most likely. The main characters, like the side characters, most likely they're gay. But there actually was a BL, can't remember what country. There was a BL where, it was a Taiwanese one. I just rewatched it. It's History 3, I think, or History 2. I think it's History 3, where the main guys were a couple, and then there was a female that was really close friends, maybe sleeping together, I have no idea, with one of the guy main characters who is gay. Well, who is bi if they are sleeping together. She's in love with her like a little assistant who is a man. So like that is like, okay, cool. We have something different than from the all men in there are gay kind of trope. But usually Thai is the ones that you can like be like, all of these side characters are gay in some way. Like except Barn Type. The No is literally, his nickname is No, N-O. K-N-O? He is the best friend of Type, but he's not gay. I don't think he's gay. But like everyone else is gay. And the second one, the other guy best friend of Type, he gets a love interest who is a man. So like Thai kind of has that representation of that. But they'll have like transgender like pop-ups of male to female usually. pop up sometimes. They'll have a more another big issue I see with BLs is they have no femme gay men except when they're with the transgender character. And usually it's a pop-up. Yeah, most of the neutral or masculine. Most of the BLs that I've seen, there's no like femme gay man. Which I kind of is like it's good in some ways because like again not all gay men are femme or masculine, but like it's also like okay, but some are, and you're not showing any of that because it's a whole different ballpark for feminine gay men because like it's more like you can see it a little bit easier than somebody who is neutral or masculine because they're a man. While femme is a little bit against that norm. So it's like, well, you need to show that too, because there's a lot of people who are like that. But also you don't need to make it like what is it when they take a like gay character, pump it up to 100 if they're femme. Instead of just a little bit or normal, they pump it up to like a caricature. There we go.
Like a very flamboyant, like to the point where it seems like it's
a caricature.
Yeah, like not a real.
It's not a real person.
Yeah.
You can have somebody who is femme, who isn't a caricature, who isn't a butt of a joke, who is like that stuff. Exactly. You see a lot of neutral or masculine.
It's like the characters you see where they work in like the retail store and they're all constantly like 100. Like dial to 100, like
or has a high pitched voice. Yeah. Like I know a lot of feminine gay men who aren't loud in your face, not like the caricature.
Type of what
and so like you can represent that a little bit more KBLs and other Asian BLs. I think Thai does it a little bit better, where they have all like different representations and everything, longer episodes and everything. But
which I wonder if I don't know the demographics of Thailand or how open they are.
I think that they're a lot more open because they're not being censored by these things.
Yeah,
I mean they are being censored. Some are rated R, which is interesting because I've never seen a TV show get rated. But there are like things saying rated R. Some Taiwanese, whenever I watch Taiwanese ones, they'll have like the disclaimer, like these are fake characters and scenarios. Sometimes it has to do with the actual scenarios, like mafia members. Obviously, like this is fake. They're not actually in the mafia.
Is it rated R because it's graphic in like sexual nature, or just because they're gay?
Most of the time, BLs are not super graphic.
That happened with Holland's music video in Korea being the first openly gay. There was one gay kiss and it got rated like 18 plus for a music video.
So that could be the reason why they think that's explicit. Yeah. But I've never seen like the only thing that I've seen super explicit, like active sex scenes, is that Japanese The World Is Ending one. That was like, because I was shocked. I went, whoa. They usually do implications, like they wake up shirtless in the same bed, they make out. Like you see a lot more like making out. Except like early Korean BLs, it was like, I feel bad. I would make fun of it. It's like a stoic kiss where you literally just go.
Yeah.
Or some, well, you guys can't see it. It's like you don't move your lips. You like, and like you look like an animatronic moving towards, and then you don't move. Sometimes you cover, so I don't know if they're actually kissing or not. But a lot of, I've never seen that with Taiwanese or Thai, and Japanese now. I really only see that in Korean. And those are in the earlier ones, like in 2020. While newer ones are a lot more like, they look like actual kisses. Like you would get, not like making out. Some of them do, some of them it's just like it looks like an active like kiss. Like they're actually kissing each other and not covering it and not looking uncomfortable while doing it. But you know, it's, the storylines are pretty good. I will make a list right here. Here are like my favorite ones that I always go back to. This is a Taiwanese one. It's Beloved in the House. No. Nope. Beloved, I Do. Beloved in House, I Do. It's a long one. Because I think Beloved is a category of a lot of different ones. It's kind of like history.
I should say.
Yeah, because history, it's capitalized his. And
ellipses.
And then ellipses. And usually they have a number, but Beloved.
Symbol like they see. Ellipses.
And then, I think Beloved in House, I Do is like that because Beloved in House has the ellipses in there too. But also, I think there's a Korean Beloved in House. So it might be like a whole brand maybe because Beloved in House, the Korean one, that one I also really like. That one's a good one too. That one's a short one though. That one's okay. It's good. I don't go back to that one as much as Beloved in House I Do. That one I really like.
That one just is the worst flow of a name.
Beloved in House I Do. Well, I think you're supposed to say Beloved in House, but it's B and then capitalize all love in house, ellipses, I Do. But that's a really good one. That one I go back to a lot. I also rewatched. I didn't rewatch. I watched it. It was brand new, but it's also Taiwanese. It's History 5 in the Future. That one's a really good one. I really like that one. I could give mini summaries, actually. Okay, Beloved in House I Do is basically a guy works at a handmade jeweler shop. They get a new boss. They fall in love. That's about it. I'm very shortcut. Really good. I like that one. And then History 5 in the Future is also a really good one. The main guy, he has fantastic hair. He does the Hyunjin thing where he puts half of it up in a bun and then the other is down. Woo! Love it. He was in 2000 and they were thinking Y2K is a thing. It's going to happen. He goes into the future of 2022. So 22 years later. And he's trying to function and everything. He starts delivering food for this one guy who wants to find his ex-girlfriend and everything. So they fall in love. And then I really like Semantic Error. That's a Korean one. Semantic Error is a really, really good one. I recommend watching the TV version than the movie version on Viki because they cut some things or they edit it in a different way so you don't know what's happening. In the movie version, in the TV show version, you just see it like the way it was released. So I like that one. That one's about a senior in college gets pulled back because he doesn't do a final presentation with the other main guy. And so the main guy that did the presentation without him, not the senior, wants to make a game to put into his resume. He falls in love with the second guy, the senior's artwork, but doesn't realize it's the same dude from the presentation. So when they meet, it's a whole thing. And then the senior follows him around because he's like, I'm stuck here for another semester. Might as well annoy the fuck out of you. Yeah. So he wears his least favorite color. And that one's really interesting because I really like the what is it? Sundare? Is that what it is? Sundare? Where it's also in Sundare. Thank you. Where it's also in K-dramas and other Asian media where it's cold face, warm heart kind of thing. Yeah. So the younger guy, not the senior, has that kind of look to it. While senior is more like the puppy dog kind of thing. But he's scary. He throws a dart at someone. Almost fucking threatens to impale him. Yeah. So fun. But that's a good one. And then I'll say my last one. Well, I should probably do a Thai one. Japanese, I would say Beautiful Man. That one's okay. The second one's really good. Oh, there's a good one, Korean one. To My Star, that has a first and a second. Second one's 10 times better than the first one. But those are good. That's about a chef and a celebrity. That's fun. What's a good Thai one? Nostalgia says Tharn Type. My type's good. But I should, you know what? I'm going to look up this won't stop recording, right? No. Okay. I'm going to look up my drama list because I put my BLs on here. Oh, I got to log in. Oh.
I haven't used mine in so long.
I haven't updated mine. I really need to.
Anything. I've started 3 K-dramas in the past, year and a half to watch them. Mostly, and then drop.
Yeah.
And I just never finished.
Light on Me is the one with all the episodes. 16 episodes. That one's a really good one. But if you don't like love triangles, that one pisses me off. But that has a love triangle. That one's good. I gave it a 9. So I really liked it. Oh, it's Boarding House, not Beloved in the House. Got it.
That is a weird phrasing.
Oh, boarding house. Well, I don't know. But it's about a boarding house, living in a boarding house. That one's okay. New Employee's good. It's not as good as the
4.5. Damn.
Tinted with You. Oh, that was also a BL. That one is a stupid one.
I was like, damn, that's a rough rating.
And it's not a good one. To My Star is a good one. Can I please scroll down?
You said fuck that one.
I really hated that one. It was boring. It was not interesting. It was about a guy who travels into a painting, falls in love with the emperor of the painting. But here's the thing. It doesn't feel like a BL. No, it doesn't sound like a BL. It doesn't look like a BL until they kiss. And it's like, what fucking connection did you have? No connection. I get it needs to be fast, but also have a fucking connection. They talk for 3 scenes. Under the whole fucking thing. Why Are You? I think that's the one that I like. That's Thai. That's the one that has the very questionable sexual assault scene. I really like that one, but the issue is Why Are You? The beginning to about the middle of the series. So about episode 6, maybe 7, it follows 2 couples. So it follows the main couple and then a secondary couple. That secondary couple is the best. Those are my 2 favorite. I watch compilations of it all the time. And the thing is, for some reason, the main couple, I don't know if it was because everyone liked the secondary couple better or if it was something with the actors, they couldn't be in it for some reason. The last half of the BL was focusing solely on that secondary couple. So I would honestly say just watch their scenes on YouTube. Don't watch unless you can withstand the first couple, I don't care that much about it. Oh, and there's a really good Korean BL that I just watched. Okay, so I need. Yes.
Okay, I just have a fear that it will just stop.
No. So there's this Kissable Lips, not a very good BL. This is a Korean BL, not a very good Korean BL. It's the first time they kind of introduced mythical creatures. So they had a vampire. It was not good. The thing is, there's a really good one with the same actors. Yes, Roommates of Pong Duck 304 with the same actors. 10 times better. Such a good, interesting concept. I think it matched their actors a lot better because this guy, the light brown hair dude, he in Kissable Lips was more of a puppy dog, which didn't seem to fit him very well. And then the other guy was with black hair. He was a very mysterious vampire, kind of edgy. Ew. It's kind of like Robert Pattinson's vampire for Edward. So it kind of resembled the same kind of awkward acting.
Yeah.
So in the
Robert Pattinson, he's a good actor now. He just has a shitty
director.
role.
Horrible director.
It's a different director for every single movie.
Yeah, but they made him progressively worse. Yeah. Well, the last one, he didn't talk much, so I liked him in the last one.
Well, this is not the topic, but Robert Pattinson in Breaking Dawn Part 4, when Bella is, like, keeping the
Part
baby.
2?
Part 1, yeah.
Part 1? You said Part 4?
Part 4.
I think you said Part 4.
He has some good acting in that where usually Edward doesn't really react, but when
Breaking Dawns are good.
Bella decides, like, to keep the baby without him, and he's like, you decided to do this without me, like,
yeah,
his acting there really good. He sells, like, that devastation that she's gonna die and the anger of deciding.
Good, I've said fucking kill her.
Kill
but in the I already forgot the name. The other one they did together. The light brown hair guy, he was more of a kind of like me, where you like pretend to be nice, but you also like, I want to fucking stab you right now.
Yes.
I'm so angry with. He's a little bit more feisty, so he's better. And then the the guy with the black hair who played the vampire, in this one he's more of a rich snob. Which, no offense to the actor, he played that part perfectly. Like, I hated him in some scenes. There's a scene with him and his dad, and he's whining to his dad. I'm like, ooh, I want to slap this man. Being like, can I just keep one credit card? Because he gets cut off. He's like, can I get one credit card? And dad goes to grab his, like, his shoe to hit him. And then he starts screaming, no. And then in another scene, he works for the company his dad owns, but as a lesser person, like a team lead. I think that's what they're called. Kind of like a manager here, but it's a team lead there. And he's a team lead, and he's about to sign the contract, and he's like, I can't wait to see how much I get paid. I bet I'm going to get paid like this absorbent amount and everything, because he's the CEO's son and everything. But the page with the pay is missing because the assistant hid it because he was going to start freaking out about his pay. His pay is not very well off for him as a rich man. So he starts freaking out and he's whining and all that. So I'm like, God, you play that character so fucking well. But yeah, that's also a really good one. But I think compared to media here, I think it's a lot more stereotypical there. But it's not, most of the time it's stereotypical, but it's never the butt of the joke. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not making fun of gay people, except some BLs are kind of like that. Mm-hmm. But usually I don't really watch them because I see that and I go, I don't like that, and I leave. But also, Soundstripe has a second season. It's called Soundstripe 7 Years. 7 years after. Very good one. That one's better than the. It's better in some parts, but the you know, like when in couples there's that like third person who's like the threat of the couple.
Yes.
They have one in that. In the second one, they had the threat of the couple, and they actually, people liked him and his best friend who was gay for him, and he was gay, the third person. They liked that relationship or that couple so much, they did a spin-off with just them as the main characters and their love story and everything. That was a good one too. I think it's called Cutie. Nope, Cutie Pie is a different one. Cutie Pie is also okay. I like Cutie Pie. That one has the same actor from Why Are You, from the secondary couple. That looks so attractive. He takes his shirt off a couple times in each of them, and I'm like, yes, this is for me. Oh, it went silent right there. I wonder why. All right. So that's our whole gist of LGBTQ movies and other.
And other, yeah.
We got to think of a good name.
For the Pride Month. Let's go. I already have my pride nails on. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Me too. They're nothing. They're plain.
You're straight. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm straight now.
The nails tell it all. No, I'm just kidding. My nails,
I have them short.
My nails say not.
Not a top.
Yeah. It hurts. I already hurt myself.
Sorry, my brain went to somebody sees you with the rainbow nails, but how long they are, they're going to be like, definitely a bottom. Definitely a bottom. Can't be a top with those nails.
No, it would stab. And that would
Maybe somebody wants a piercing down there.
Yeah, I'll do it for him. I'm just kidding.
It's so much blunt.
Just kidding.
Blunter
I'm
than
just
a
kidding. I would
needle.
gag. I don't like blood.
I was like, you'd gag having fingering a girl?
No. Blood. I like
stabbing somebody.
I'd be like, I can't even look at my own blood.
Stab their... No, I'm not going to finish that sentence. I'm going to not say anything.
No.
I hold my right for the Fifth Amendment. I plead the Fifth.
Yeah, hold my right.
I withhold my right. Does that mean you?
That would mean you.
I uphold it.
Want
I uphold my right, my Fifth Amendment right.
I withhold it. I give it up.
No, I uphold my Fifth Amendment right. That's what you can also say. You just repeat it. Don't get arrested. You would sing like a canary.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be like, Fifth Amendment, fuck it.
I already know if I were to get tortured, I would be spilling the beans most likely.
Bitch, your torture wouldn't be that serious. You know what your torture would be?
Somebody being able to pee?
No, somebody touching your collarbone with your arms wrapped behind your chair, or your ankles, or your wrist bone.
I'd also go 2 hours and I'd be like, I gotta pee, I can't pee myself.
You could just pee yourself. You'll be fine. If somebody was torturing you, I think you'd be able to pee yourself in that situation. The collarbone, you'd be singing. You'd be done. I don't know where this conversation went to, so let's end it. Let's end it on that note that Lyrica is a
Don't tell me any secrets or important shit, because I will give up the info so easily.
So don't rely on Lyrica for very serious secrets.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Future knowledge right here. Lock it in. Okay. Well, we don't need to do strengths and weaknesses.
The
so.
Strengths of the gays. No, I'm just
kidding. Of the gays.
I'm kidding.
Their bars and clubs are so much better.
Yeah.
So much more comfortable. Hopefully. In our area, they are.
Yeah.
In some areas, I've heard it's not.
Yeah. Ours is good.
Ours is good.
Weakness. I'm just kidding.
Weakness needs more people. Sparkles.
Yeah.
They need more sparkles. Or nakedness.
Yeah.
They need to be naked more.
All of us should be naked. If we
I was thinking more of people who are active activists, out just naked. Be hippies.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it. Well, I don't want to see it. That sounds weird. I mean, I want to see
the freedom.
Freedom of free the nip and peen.
Yeah.
Or free the tuck. Well, tuck, but you can tuck freely.
Mm-hmm.
You can show off with your tuck underwear.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe not for other people, though. As in, maybe they don't feel comfortable being naked. Maybe not. I'm going to go back to the more...
if you want to be naked.
Yeah.
There we go.
I say go back to the sparkles. I need to see more sparkles. Or Target needs to bring that back their Pride collection.
Yeah.
That's
there
what
was
a
Target shirt for this Pride collection that says live, laugh, lesbian. And I was like, that is
Target, that's the weakness. So no, never mind. I'm going to change my weakness to brands need to shut the fuck up and cater to the minority.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
See that shirt?
And not give a fuck.
Funny, please.
I like the one. I think there's one that says "Be gay."
Somebody had humor where they're like, just live, laugh, lesbian.
Well, the TikTok that I saw that really talked about the Target ban stuff, taking things away, is this girl goes into Target. She just sees these lesbians. I think they're lesbian scrunchies. LGBTQ scrunchies. So she takes two and she's going to go check out. She's at the self-checkout. She scans it. There's an issue. So they come over. They look at it. They take it. And they say, yeah, this isn't for sale. And just left in front of everyone. And she's like, not only are you guys taking away stuff from the Pride collection, we're also physically taking away stuff from people who want to buy it.
Yeah.
And not only embarrassing them, but also limiting their stuff for Pride.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Target.
Let's stop.
beer brands keep going.
Yeah.
Because you guys are supported 100%. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they just
I think, did Bud Light do anything?
I think they've,
I don't think they stopped their sponsorship.
They
don't care. I feel like more gay people are now, more gay and LGBTQ are now buying Bud Light.
Yeah.
Because they were so, I think, a lot more open about it and having a sponsor like that who is part of the trans community. So, I mean, like, I know what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I'm getting Bud Light. My mom said Bud Light with a lime tastes good. Okay. It tastes like a Corona with lime.
Okay, I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. Just not canned. Do they have bottles? I don't like canned beer. Oh, then we'll just get Bud Light bottles and put some limes in it. Ooh. But, yeah. So I thought this was going to be a shorter episode, but this is probably tied with our longest.
A lot of shit to say.
Yeah, especially in this fucking era, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to do the sign off?
Yeah, don't be an Edward.
Go watch Friends, the TV show. Not your actual friends, please, for the love of God.
Or you could. But they might not enjoy that.
Might be stalking.
Yeah.
All right. Don't stalk your friends. Okay, cut.
Ellipses.